Now, back to your turn on 1330 WEBY, Northwest Florida's talk radio. The phone lines are open, so call in and join the conversation at 623-1330.
Leftist liberals hate him, atheists despise him, evolutionists and socialists fear him. Certain other talk show hosts are jealous of him. The White House administration knows who he is, but this is why you listen to Carl Freedom Friday with Carl Gallows, the Oval Office of Gulf Coast Talk Radio.
All right, welcome back, America. Welcome back, Gulf Coast. Welcome back, world. You are listening to Freedom Friday, and we are in the Oval Office of Gulf Coast Talk Radio. Mallory Bardwell, your world-famous producer, and you, our world-famous listeners. And on the line, our world-famous Canadian, Mike Shoesmith, who's the executive editor of the ppsimmons news and ministry sites all over the internet. Mega viral, mega wild, mega popular. Good gracious, the blog site that he manages is syndicated 20 different or 20 plus different news sites. He's an author. He's written several awesome books. He manages all the Facebook and YouTube properties of ppsimmons plus all the folks that work for that outfit. Mike, thank you so much for being on board with us today. You know, Mike, I know that you guys at ppsimmons, y'all do a lot of work, and from time to time I contribute as well, but you guys do a lot of work concerning this radical homosexual agenda and dismantling the disinformation campaign that the radical homosexual agenda promotes. And one of the things is this whole thing of, well, you know, if I love them and it's real love and if we love each other. I mean, Mike, you come from a biblical worldview like I do. Talk to us. What is the definition of real love, and how does this radical homosexual agenda just miss it completely?
Well, listen, you know, even here in Canada, where homosexual same-sex marriage has been normalized for several years now, even in Canada, we're still debating it. I mean, my son, as you know, you've met my son. He is in grade 8, and he's just hitting the tail end of his. Grade 8 is the last year of mandated schooling here in Canada. Mm-hmm. After grade 8, they move on to high school, which, you know, you can go, you can not go, whatever, right? But they have to go the first 10 years, junior kindergarten to grade 8, and now in grade 8, they're getting ready to wrap it up next month. So now they're in debate season. The teacher has said, okay, each one of you has to pick a subject, and you're going to make your case, write an essay in support of it, and present your case to the class. Okay. So my son, he picked the case against abortion. So you met my son. You know he's just gonna wipe the floor with it. Right. But he has been sharing with me now. Each day, a certain student will present their case before the class. So my son, he's been giving me the synopses of each of the students' subjects, and him and I have a discussion about it at home, right? Right. So it's very fascinating. You know, I think it's a Roman Catholic school. The Roman Catholicism is the official religion in Canada, by the way, which is strange if you know that Canada is actually a subject of the British Crown. Yeah, you'd think it'd be the Church of England, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole other topic, but and it's very strange. But listen, some of these subjects these students, these 8th graders are picking are fascinating. And I want to talk to you specifically about a young girl. She chose to support gay marriage, right? And this was her reasoning behind it, because the teacher asked... Which, by the way, Mike, last week you made it clear that you were in support of happy marriages. Remember that? I mean, we're not going to let them... Right. We're not going to let them steal our words. You are in support of happy or gay marriages, right? That's right. And if we are to take back the language from the hijackers, right? You know, we gladly support happy gay marriage, gay people getting married. We're okay with that. That's right. All right, but go ahead. So this young girl takes that subject. Yeah, same-sex marriage. Right. She argued in favor of it. Right. And any good lawyer should be able to argue in favor of any topic. Right? When you if you ever go to law school, those of you thinking about going to law school, you're going to have to take a class called argumentation theory, where you're going to have to present a case for any topic, anywhere, at any time, that's a good lawyer, right?
Right.
So anyway, this young girl, she decides she's going, but in her heart, she's actually in favor of same-sex marriage. And so the teacher asks her, I want you in your essay to present to the class the Vatican's position on it, okay? Which is fair. It's a Roman Catholic school. So anyway, she says, the Vatican is against it. However, and my jaw hit the floor. It shouldn't have, because this is why there are so many people, sort of letting this happen. It's because of a general ignorance, a biblical illiteracy. With 80% of the American population claiming to be Christian, and yet so much of Rhode Island just legalized gay marriage.
Right.
Right now, that became a New England sweep. All of New England now has legalized gay marriage, by the way.
Right.
So anyway, because of the biblical illiteracy in the world, now here's what she says. She said the Vatican is against same-sex marriage. However, she says, now she probably picked this up off a website somewhere, right, where they quote mine the Bible and take it completely out of context. She says, however, yes, the Vatican is against it. However, David, the Bible says, loved Jonathan even more than he loved women.
Oh, my gosh.
And she said, this is what the Bible says, so there you go, right? So case closed, and everybody who doesn't know their Bible goes, yep, she's right. That's exact. She didn't give chapter and verse. She says, yep, that's what the Bible says, so let's allow it. Even God himself is for it. And of course, you and I know that she's quoting from 2 Samuel 1:26, where it says, I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of women.
Right.
Okay? Now, it says the word love there in the English, but English, as you know, is a very lazy language. It's an efficient language, but it's lazy. And if we take a look at the word love, let's look at the word love in the Septuagint. Now, the Septuagint is the Greek translation of the Old Testament, right? Now, the New Testament was written primarily in Greek and Aramaic, but the Old Testament was written in Aramaic and Hebrew, but it was all translated into Greek. And the Greek is a very involved language, as you know.
Yes, it is.
And Koine Greek has 4 different words for love.
Right.
Now, if you want to know the Bible, folks, you can't just pick up the New Living Translation, which is probably the laziest translation of the Bible ever, or even the Message Bible, which is absolute. I mean, even the guy who wrote the Message Bible says this is not a study Bible, folks.
Right.
Right. But if you study the Greek, and I don't speak Greek, but if you're going to study the Bible, you have got to know the context, and you've got to study this stuff, folks. The word love in the original is split into 4. And we're going to talk about these 4 because this is important that we educate people on this stuff. This audio that we're recording now, it's going to go out to the entire world tomorrow.
Right.
So this is a valuable teaching for the world. Now, we're going to start with agape love. Agape love is the love that God had for humanity when he hung on a cross.
Right.
It's the love that says, I don't feel very good about you, but I'm going to do this anyway because I love you.
Right. It's a self-sacrificing type of love.
That's right. For God so agape the world that he gave his only begotten Son.
Right.
Right? That whosoever believes in him is son. Now, the agape love is the love that rushes into a marriage when the fileo love leaves. Okay, so fileo love leaves the marriage, agape love goes in. Fileo love is the happy feelings love.
Right.
The city of Philadelphia was named after this. It means brotherly love. It means, man, I really, like when Carl Gallup says to another man, oh, man, I love you, Mike.
Right.
Mike Zulo, I love you.
Right.
Is Carl Gallup having relations with Mike Zulo? Of course not.
Right.
But Carl Gallup's phileos him. It's brotherly love. It's the kind of love that is happy feelings. I really admire you. I look up to you. I love you.
Right. And, you know, and I've said that to you before. I mean, I've hung up the phone and said, man, Mike, I love you, man. God bless you. You know? And that's exactly.
And that's a Southern thing. We don't do that so much up here. I do now.
Right.
You know, because you become like who you hang out with. And you and I hang out a little bit. So
Right.
I tell people I love them. And I get weird looks up here, but I don't care.
Right.
But when I tell them I love them, I'm not, I mean, maybe I need to stop doing that up here in Canada. They might be getting the wrong impression.
Yeah, they very well may.
But that's the first two. That is, agape love is a choice love.
Right.
It's the kind of love, like I said, this is the best way I have to explain it, is when you stop fileoing your spouse, when you stop having happy feelings towards your spouse, agape love steps in and says, I don't care about how I feel about her right now. I am going to love her anyway until the phileo feelings come back.
Right.
I mean, that is what keeps marriage going for 40, 50, 60 years.
That's right.
It is the choice to love trumps the feelings that just
Right.
come and go. They're fleeting. They don't last.
Yeah, and let me go ahead and say, I've been married 40 years, married to my childhood sweetheart. I still adore her. But I can look in her eyes sometimes and tell when she's loving me with phileo love and not agape. I mean, agape love and not phileo love. I mean, she kind of rolls her eyes and and it says, I'm going to love you because I have to, but right now I really don't even like you.
Right. Yeah. And there are light bulbs going off in people's heads listening to this. I can tell.
Yes.
But when we come back from the break, though, we're going to get into, you will be amazed by the number 4 will amaze you, folks. This is something that most people do not know. It will be a huge revelation for you because when people read the word love in the Bible, it can be confusing because you don't have the four dynamics that are wrapped up in love explained explicitly in the English translations of the Bible.
Absolutely, and so we are going to take a break, and when we come back, you're going to go into that because we're going to finally get to the point of how David loved Jonathan and how and how out of context that's been taken. Because in English, the word love, we have one word. If I say I love ice cream or I love my wife, that's two completely different kinds of love, right?
Right, and there is a love that is actually mentioned nowhere in the Bible.
All right, I can't wait for us to talk about it. We got to go. We'll be right back, Mike. We'll be back, folks. You're listening to Freedom Friday.